Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the leadership show for today. This is the 3rd of February 2021, and today we are bringing to you a special guest, someone that is so special to us and to Nigeria as a country. Before I tell you who he is, let me put him on the screen so that you can see him. And this is NWEKE. IKENNA, someone that you need to know about. I'm sure when I begin to talk about him, you know him very well. On June 19, 2020, a Nigerian, an Igbo man for that matter, a PhD student in Japan demonstrated in practice the true meaning of this biblical injunction that says, train a child in the way he should go, and when he grows up, he will not depart from it. This Nigerian in diaspora picked up a wallet containing a lot of money in hard currency. Rather than disappear with it, he reported the incident and handed over the wallet to the security agencies in Japan. When he was offered 10% of the total money, he rejected it and further refused to accept that the money will automatically become his if the owner does not come to collect the money after 3 months. By this singular act, this man used the opportunity to prove to the whole world that Nigerians are good people. Even though there are there are some bad eggs among us with a population that is an insignificant minority. The man we are talking about this afternoon is Mr. NWEKE, our guest on the leadership show. He's there before you on the screen. He's from Amuzare, Inisialambano local government of Imo State. He attended comprehensive primary school Okoko and comprehensive secondary school Onitsha in Anambra State. IKENNA obtained a diploma from the Enugu State University for Science and Technology before leaving for Japan, where he obtained a bachelor's and a master's in international area studies from the University of Tsukuba, Japan. If I got, don't worry, I'll talk about it. So Mr. IKENNA is currently a PhD student of security studies in the same university. For making us proud, for making Nigeria proud, IKENNA has been honored in several occasions by Mr. President himself, President Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, Dr. Aruna Ote, the former Vice President of the World Bank. He has been honored by Japanese Embassy in Nigeria. He has also been recognized by the Nigerian Embassy in Japan, and so many other organizations that I will not mention right now. IKENNA has been interviewed by more than 28 international media organizations, and a documentary about him was released on the 22nd of December 2020 by Asahi TV, one of the leading television stations in Japan. Now, to make sure that this lifestyle is being inculcated among youths in Nigeria, IKENNA founded what is called the Info Club International, with an overall objective of raising a generation of integrity-conscious, honest, and selfless Nigerians. Ladies and gentlemen, this afternoon we are here to talk with IKENNA, the man I just talked about. He is NWEKE, our guest on the show this afternoon. IKENNA, good afternoon and good to see you once again.
Good afternoon in Nigeria and good evening from Japan.
Oh, wonderful. It's evening, right?
Yes.
That's wonderful. IKENNA, good to see you. Good to see you. We have heard so much about you, and it's interesting that you're coming back to talk to Nigerians, especially youths who are followers of this platform and this leadership show. It's important. And hey, I didn't remember to say that this IKENNA was inducted into our roll call of Rebrand Nigeria Ambassadors. Rebrand Nigeria Ambassadors of the Ugwumba Center for Leadership Development in Africa. That is our own little way of celebrating Nigerians that are making us proud, Nigerians that are contributing to building a new nation for us and also contributing to global development. So IKENNA is one of our Rebrand Nigeria Ambassadors, and we are proud that he is here this afternoon to talk to our Ugwumba fellows and fans around the world. So let's get, it's a pleasure that IKENNA will be here for us in the next 1 hour. So get relaxed and prepare your questions, because we are going to throw a lot of bomb to him. We want to know why he returned the money and what has happened since after that, and then what he thinks Nigerians abroad should be doing, so that the name of Nigeria, could be better. It's different from what we hear about Nigerians abroad this time. So that is why it's a pleasure for us, and we're so happy that IKENNA is on the show this afternoon. Okay, good. So IKENNA, you have been celebrated around the world for returning money that does not belong to you. How does it make you feel? How do you feel about it?
Well, I think generally, I want to thank you first for having me on the show. And I want to say a very special thank you to the Ugwumba Leadership Foundation for finding me worthy of being one of the rebrand Nigerian ambassadors. And I also want to welcome our viewers on the show. First, I want to say that it makes me proud as a Nigerian that my story is being used to challenge that negative stereotype, that the whole world has about Nigerians, especially those in diaspora. It makes me also proud of the parents that raised me, proud of my wife, my family, my children, and all the friends who have supported me. However, I see it as a form of moral responsibility on me as a Nigerian to stand up and make that change in my country. I want to say something, and I posted this on my Twitter handle. When the president commended me, when prominent Nigerians and NGOs and many well-meaning Nigerians commended me, I did not see that as just a form of commendation. I saw that as a call to serve, a call to contribute to nation building, and that is actually what I'm doing now. So I'm proud of myself as a human being, and it also opened my eyes the more to see that Nigeria needs to focus on the kind of generation we are raising. If I got commendation for doing what should naturally be a human threat, for me, something is fundamentally wrong with our country, with our society. Therefore, we should do something.
Very good, very good, very good. I'm happy IKENNA said this is a call for service, a call for nation building. He's been celebrated around the world, has given him more reasons to serve the country and to project the name of the country in better lights, even where he is in Japan. That is wonderful. IKENNA, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the show, the Ugwumba Leadership Show this afternoon, and with us as guest is IKENNA NWEKE in Japan. He's a PhD student in Japan, and it's a pleasure that we have him this afternoon to speak to us, to speak to Nigerians in Nigeria and those living in diaspora. All of them are watching, even foreigners are watching. So this is a wonderful opportunity for us to right some of the wrongs that we are known for. So IKENNA, let me ask you, it might be very funny, but let me ask you. So can you tell us how much was involved and why you returned the money?
The amounts in the wallet, it was not just a wallet actually, it's a huge purse. And it's in millions of naira, because I had the opportunity to interact with the owner of the money, and he said that the credit card itself is worth hundreds of millions of yen, not naira. And then the cash money is not just yen, euro, and other valuables. So I did not take the money because there was no need to have taken the money in the first place. The money was not mine, wouldn't be mine. So when I saw the money, the first thing that moved me was empathy. I've lost money in the past, so I know how I felt. So when I saw the money, the first thing was I started thinking about how somebody could have lost this kind of money. So I was really moved. So the whole time I was just thinking about the money. About the owner of the money. So the first thing I did was I went to the police station, which was close to the train station. So I handed in the money and I said, I found this. So, in Japan, the first thing they always do is to ask for your residence cards. So upon showing my residence card, Nigeria boldly written. So I think the policeman was like, are you really a Nigerian? I could see the expression on his face. So he beckoned on his colleague and then they started interrogating me. And they told me that according to Japanese law, that I was entitled to 10% of the money, which would have also made me rich. And at that time, to be honest with you, I was supposed to pay my school fees. So I also needed money. But I didn't want to take part in anything because finding that money and returning it to the owner should be a moral duty. So I explained to the police officer that there was no need even to give me 10% because I am sure the owner of the money must have budgeted the money for something important, and taking some part of that money just because I found it betrays the humanity in me, betrays the orientation I got from my family. So there was no need for that. And I explained to him all this. And then he also said, no problem. But after 3 months, according to Japanese law, if the owner fails to show up, the money would become yours. I said, no, I don't need the money. I don't need it at all. So what the police officer thought was that I couldn't understand his Japanese. Then he asked me if I knew somebody who was more fluent in Japanese than me. I said yes. And I called somebody, a pastor, in a different prefecture, and he spoke with him. And then after everything, the pastor interpreted to me, and then I've told him them I don't need that money. I don't need money. So he explained to them that this person is different. He wouldn't take the percentage, so don't put pressure on him. He understood everything. And then I left. After about 2 or 3 days, the police wrote to me. And they were very grateful for what I did. And they explained to me that the owner of the money would want to talk to me. And I responded in the affirmative. Then I got a call from the owner of the money, and the rest is history. Now, when I heard the news went viral, there were some friends of mine from other African countries here who were, kind of trying to ridicule me and my country because of the story of Hush Puppy. Because it happened exactly the time the story of Hush Puppy went viral. So they were like, Steve, IKENNA, come and see your brother. These Nigerians always disgracing us. Then I made that post and it went viral. So the rest is history. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Very good and very interesting. You said they were surprised when they saw your passport and saw that you are a Nigerian. They were surprised, right?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Wonderful. They were surprised, and I'm sure that they know that that's a whole lot of money, and that the money would have made a whole lot of difference in your life if you went away with it. So they were surprised. So that would take me to another question for you. Now, can you tell us how they were seeing Nigerians before this incident and how they started seeing us after the incident? Did it make any difference?
Okay, I will explain this using some things that I have experienced after the incident.
Oh, good, very good.
If you Google Nigeria in Japan, there are a lot of negative stories about Nigerians in Japan. In fact, many foreigners are advised not to visit bars owned by Nigerians. So a quick Google search will, show you all this. So the story is that Nigerians are bad people, potential criminals, or to some extent, real criminals. So I've had people walk away from me when I stand from Nigeria. So in fact, let me say this. It got to a point that when people ask me, "Where are you from?" before I even respond, I always think in my heart how they would react upon knowing my nationality, which shouldn't be so. So after the incident, I became a huge celebrity in Japan. So and so many interviews from my university-owned newspaper to national dailies to TV stations. I got a lot of letters. In January, I think second week of January, first week of January, I got a letter from a lady I have never met before who lives in a very far region in Japan. She wrote a letter and she thanked me for making a difference at a time that what I did was no longer normal. So I was really grateful. And again, I followed the debate about immigration and immigrants in Japan. And somebody tweeted, a Japanese, "I don't care if foreigners come to live in Japan, as long as they behave like IKENNA and NWEKE from Nigeria." And again, I got a lot of calls from the staff of Nigerian embassy in Japan, telling me, "Hey, your story is huge. This is something we want. We are tired of receiving complaints about Nigerians doing this, doing that. And we are now so happy. You are our hero. You are our light." By the way, I got a letter from the ambassador of Nigeria in Japan, Ambassador Isa, and he also hosted me at the Nigerian house in Tokyo. So I think the stereotype is changing. I have a lot of Japanese people walking up to me, commending me, and telling me how what they thought about Nigerians, changed after they heard my story.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still talking about how to become or who should be a role model for youths. And today, our guest is no other than IKENNA NWEKE, this man that saw a whole lot of money in Japanese yen, but still returned it to the authorities so that the owner could come and claim it. This man has made Nigerians so proud in Japan. Just like what he said before now, he said that before then, that the story about Nigeria is so bad in Japan that it got to the point that they are even advised not to deal with Nigerians, not to visit places, public places, maybe restaurants or joints owned by Nigerians. That is as bad as it was. Now, but because of what he did, a lot has changed. A lot has changed to the extent that people are now referring, if any immigrant is coming into the country, so long as they behave like the Nigerian IKENNA NWEKE, that they don't bother, they are happy about that. So this is something that is remarkable in a season, in an what do you call it, in an era where Hush Puppy has painted Nigeria so black, and his cohorts. We have someone that is an exact opposite of Hush Puppy and those Yahoo boys. So this calls for celebration, and that is why IKENNA NWEKE is our brand Nigeria ambassador. And we are proud of him, and we are also showcasing him to the world. And this afternoon he's on the show to talk about why he did what he did and what that has done for Nigeria as a whole in Europe and in Japan. So ladies and gentlemen, we are still on the show this afternoon, the Leadership Talk Show from Ugwumba Center for Leadership Development in Abuja. That is where we are broadcasting from. And I'm sure that so many people are have already tuned in. So let's look at the comments from IKENNA, just 1 minute. Let's look at some of the people that have joined us and see what they have to say. Okay, this is Peter DSB. I am glad to be part of this program. Oh, very good. Darlington is saying beautiful. Darlington is happy for what IKENNA has done for Nigeria as a whole, because he is an ambassador, a good ambassador at that, of Nigeria, and we are proud of him. Thank you so much. We are expecting more from you, our listeners and audience around the world. We are waiting for you to come up and join the show and also tell us how you feel. And then if you have any Okay. Sorry for that little break. Okay. Are you okay now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm here.
Okay, good. So, IKENNA, I want to ask you, okay, do you think most Nigerians in diaspora would have done the same thing you did? If your answer is no, why do you think so?
Well, I must concede that there are a lot of Nigerians in diaspora doing amazing things, in different areas, commerce, academics, entertainment, just name it. So overall, I would say that we are good people. However, there is no day that you don't read or hear about Nigerians being arrested. In fact, yesterday I heard about a Nigerian who was arrested in, I think, Guyana. It's a country in, I think, one of the Caribbean countries.
South America.
Yeah, one of the Caribbean countries, yeah. So it's becoming something, worrisome. So, and again, I scrolled the media space when my story went viral. I saw a lot of Nigerians abusing me. You are very stupid. Why did you return that money? Don't you know God has blessed you? I also, I saw a lot of people saying, you return that money because you are rich. No, I'm not rich. I'm just a student. I'm paying my school fees here. So I have a family to take care of. I'm not rich. It's a matter of who I am and what I want to do in life. So while I consider we are good people, the trend in Nigeria today obviously show that some Nigerians, I wouldn't agree that most people wouldn't do that, but a tiny fraction who are increasing by day wouldn't do that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still talking about why IKENNA and NWEKE returned that huge sum of money. According to him, this is not just a purse, a bag that has a lot of valuables, including credit cards that has millions of Japanese yen in it, and then plus some cash in euro, according to him. So we are looking at why he did so, and then what the impact of what he has done, has become in Japan. Just like we hear about, just like again he said, every day, almost every day, you hear stories of Nigerians that were arrested almost on a daily basis. So we want to use IKENNA as a role model. This is someone that is also in the same environment with some of our Nigerians, but these ones have chosen to do the way they are doing, and we have someone that is an exact opposite of what they do. So we want to know, why are they behaving that way, and why is IKENNA behaving this other way? So these are the issues we are going to we are talking about, and then we want you to help us. If you have your questions, if you have your comments, just put them up. We are ready to discuss. IKENNA NWEKE is a Nigerian from Imo State, for that matter, and he is someone that has stood out today because of a single act of what he has done, to show that he comes from a very good background. Even if you are a Nigerian, it doesn't mean you are a criminal. There are so many of us that are wonderful people, and that is what we are doing at the Rebrand Nigerian campaign. We are showcasing these young Nigerians that are doing very well, so that the foreigners will now have a rethink and say, oh, if someone like IKENNA can pick that kind of money and return it, it means not all Nigerians are criminals. There are so many other cases that we have reported on the Rebrand Nigerian Ambassador series. IKENNA is one of them. And this afternoon we are here to talk about that, because we want to reposition this country and our youths, so that they can begin to think Nigeria first and become good ambassadors of Nigeria everywhere they go, even in Europe, even in Canada, in the US, in Asia. We want them to become wonderful people that can be reckoned with wherever they are, and good ambassadors of Nigeria. So we are still on the show. We want you to join us. If you are yet not here, we want you to join us because of what we are going to do this afternoon. IKENNA, nowadays, our youth celebrate people like Hush Puppy. People like Hush Puppy who ride in big cars and live in big mansions as their role models, not even minding the sources of their income. Unfortunately, I didn't know Hush Puppy when he was reigning, but it was when he was arrested that I got to learn a lot about him. I didn't know him because I don't get interested in people like him. But so many young people in Nigeria adore people like that. What can you say about this?
For me, it is a testimony to the fact that we operate a decayed society. In a world where the likes of Hush Puppy are celebrated, something is fundamentally wrong with that society. Who your role models are ultimately defines how far you will go in life. Those who are allowed to mentor young people in our society defines how successful our society will be in the future. There is a place of greed in our society. I don't think the whole blame should be on the youth. I see it that our society has come to condone what naturally should be abhorred. We celebrate wealth without work. So nobody, when you are rich in Nigeria today, nobody asks how you made your money. No church asks how you made your money. No traditional ruler asks how you made your money. Most family wouldn't care how you made your money. So when we shift the whole blame on the young people who are actually the culprits themselves, we should look at the bigger picture. Some decades ago, the Yahoo people at that time were not digitalized. This is not a new trend. In those years, people will stop you on the way and speak one funny French. As they are talking to you, and their accomplice will come from the other end and say, hey, what is this person telling you? We can help. So this is not a new trend. But the thing is this. At that time, they were a minority. And they were hiding. And the society was against them. But the trend has changed. The problem is that we pretend that it's a new thing. Oh, Yahoo is a new thing. No, it has always been there. But those people were not condoned by the society. There was no place for them in the society. But today, the society has, come to celebrate them. So when you leave Nigeria, spend 2 months in Nigeria, in abroad, and then come home with big money, nobody asks, how has you made your money? Then another important thing I want to make is that the Nollywood industry, technical problem. Another thing I want to say is this, is that the Nollywood industry has also portrayed this kind of image that somebody leaves a village, moves abroad, and 2 years later, returns home with big mansion, big money, big cars, and then builds big mansion. So we look at the bigger picture. Why has it become this kind of problem to us? Is it the young people? Should we look at the kind of society we operate? Should we look at how things have changed? How come that the society is so comfortable with this? So this is the way I see it.
Very interesting, very interesting. I am happy what you have just introduced, and for me too, I question, the morality of some of the movies that we see on Nollywood today. It makes it look like becoming wealthy is just by the snap of the fingers. Just like you said, from the village, move abroad, and then move to the city. They call it city, and then just a year or so, you come back with your big cars, and then begin to build big mansions. I don't know what that teaches, but we need to watch it. We need to watch it again. Just like you said, I remember also, those days that people they speak the funny language, whether French or I don't know what it is. They speak and they say, so somebody, and before you know it, whether they charm you or so, you don't know what you are doing again, and they take you by the bush, search you and take away your belongings and all of that. And again, there's something you said that is important for a takeaway for all of us. The society abhorred that practice then. Now, but today, it is not the same. People celebrate you. Whatever you bring your money, they are not interested. What is it? What they are interested in? You're buying them drinks. You're spraying money to them. You are coloring their occasions with your money, your dollars. They don't care where you got it from. This is an issue for discussions. I think it should be an issue for national discourse. Thank you for raising this up this afternoon. It calls for caution. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are still talking with IKENNA NWEKE. There's something IKENNA said that I will not forget. He said, who your role model is determines how far you will go in life. Who your role model is will determine how far you will go in life. I think this is a message for the young ones listening to us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take IKENNA to another level. IKENNA, tell us, what does success mean to you? Is it about fame or wealth? Can someone living an average life, maybe a teacher, primary school teacher or secondary school teacher, a pastor or an imam, a mechanic, a trader, can such persons also be seen as mentors if they are good people?
Thank you so much. I think this is one of the biggest challenges we have in our society today. And we have to admit that. For me, I have not allowed anybody to define success to me. I have defined success my own way. I have not allowed the society to define what success should mean to me. I've not allowed friends and people around me to define what success should mean to me. And that is why I think I've made a difference today. For me, success comes from the place of contentment, achieving your set goals in life. Let me use my story.
Go ahead.
For me, success does not equate wealth, and wealth itself does not equate success. I'll use my story as a case study now. My father was a truck pusher. In fact, he died as a truck pusher. He died when I was in JS1, Junior Secondary School 1. And we lived in one room, face me and face you, in Oboko, one of the biggest ghettos in Nigeria. Now, as a child living in such an environment, I had a vision, I had a dream I wanted to go to the university. I wanted to teach at the university. I wanted to study abroad, but there was no money. Now, let me say this. I have achieved all this. I've gone to the university, one of the best universities in the world. I have my master's. I'm going to be done with my PhD, and I'm already teaching at the university. So for me, I am a successful person. This is how I define success. So success is my ability to achieve these set goals. Now, success comes from the word to succeed. To come to this point, I've faced a lot of challenges, and I've been able to surmount those challenges. And this is why I consider myself a successful person. Until we see people without money, people with good values as successful people, we will always misconstrue what it means to be successful. One of the people that have inspired me in life was a teacher. He met me after my dad died, and he insisted I must go to school. He kept reminding me every day the potentials in me. Unfortunately, he died about 3 years ago. He was never rich, but every time I look at him, I see the person I want to be. Not in terms of wealth. I see him as somebody who is patient. I see him as somebody who is resilient, who has faced a lot of challenges in life, but has been able to surmount those challenges. For me, that is being a role model. So somebody might have big cars, live in big mansions, afford trips to Dubai and different parts of the world, but it's still empty. But somebody might not be rich, but when you look at the person's story, you will have a lot to learn about life. That is being a role model. Recently, a Canadian filmmaker contacted me, and he wanted to make a story using my life to teach young people contentment, selflessness. And in the course of our discussion, I told him something. I said, when you write this story, when you tell the whole world about my story, when you tell young people how I moved from a ghetto to getting accolades from global leaders, don't also forget to teach these young ones that my father was a truck pusher. Let them know that it is possible, even though your parents are poor, that it is possible for you to go to Harvard. Let them know that through my life, they can learn that you can be happy, even though you are not a millionaire. And for me, this is what being a role model is all about.
Thank you so much, Ikenna. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This guy is really making a difference around the world. This guy is really making a difference. This you said now just struck me somewhere. Don't forget to teach them that my father was a truck pusher. This is wonderful. This is amazing. That is your story. And it is important they know how you started. I like this. This is so inspiring. Then there's something again you said. You said that success for you is nobody has ever defined success for you. You set out a dream that you want to achieve, and by the grace of God today, those dreams you have achieved them. You've been to school, you've been to the university, You have a master's and you're pursuing your PhD. And then your vision of or dream of traveling abroad has also been achieved, and that of teaching in the university. These are dreams IKENNA NWEKE set out for himself, and by the grace of God, he has achieved them today. And I'm also happy when he said that that teacher was his role model when his father died. This teacher kept reminding him why he must go to school. And today, that his desire and dream of becoming someone in life has materialized. We're so happy for you, IKENNA. We're so happy for you. Some people are here, so let me say what they are saying. Let me show you what they are saying so that they. Okay, this is from Posmos Osuji. This is good. This is amazing. This is amazing. Sarah is saying Ugwumba cares. Oh, wonderful. I think what IKENNA is sharing is really impacting on her life. And that's why she's thanking Ugwumba Center for Leadership Development in Africa for bringing IKENNA on the show. And this is our big mommy in the UK, Barrister Antonia Ngozi Okoronkwo. She's saying, hello everyone, good afternoon. Oh, wonderful. Good afternoon, Mama. We are happy that you joined us on the show this afternoon. Thank you so much. And we have... Class Genius, IKENNA Steve NWEKE represents the change we crave for, given the Nigeria of today. That is amazing. That is amazing. Again, from Antonia, she said, you're absolutely right. Knowing who you are and being contented with yourself, that is what matters. She's also saying, congratulations for achieving your goals. Well done for being a role model. Well done for being a role model. IKENNA, these are more accolades coming to you. These are more accolades coming to you. And we are happy because you are one of us as our rebrand Nigerian ambassador. Nigerian ambassador. Okay, now let me take you to somewhere that I wanted to talk about something very important. Now, just like we have talked about this, the teacher, so how do we encourage more successful people, people that have good moral values? How do we encourage them to take up this mentoring role for our youths? How can we encourage them? Do you have any idea?
Yeah, exactly. I do, definitely. Yeah, for me, mentoring should be a conscious approach. It's not something that comes by osmosis. It is something you position yourself to be a mentor. And number one, I think you don't really have to alienate yourself from the people in your constituency. What I mean by constituency is when you rise, the people in your constituency are people you have left around when you were rising. Now, you have a duty to teach them what it means to rise, how to rise, and the challenges they would encounter, and probably how they can surmount those challenges. So one of the biggest tragedies we have is that the supposed successful people in our society find one reason or the other why they should distance themselves from the younger generation. And then this creates a vacuum. And then these bad people begin to influence the young ones. So this vacuum creates a sort of emptiness in the young people. There's a disconnect. The young ones want to succeed. Most of them don't know how to succeed. And those who have succeeded through the right channel are no longer there to mentor them. So what happens is that they look up to the likes of Hush Puppy. When I came to Japan in 2013, I came on Japanese government scholarship. I spent, I think, 6 months here. I went back to Nigeria. And I went back to my former school, my high school. And I assembled some young people. I started teaching them. I will tell you something. One of them said, after I finished talking to them, he said, "Sir, you came here today because of me. And I asked him why. He said, ask all my friends. I am very brilliant, but there is no money to go to school. I have actually made arrangements that after my YOUTHS exam, I will just find my way out. But after listening to you, how you told me what you did to go to school, how you were hawking, how you did some odd jobs, serve medicine, was a scavenger, and all those things just to go to school. He said, I now have myself to blame if I don't go to school. And I'm pleased to announce to you that the young man finished his NYSC last year. One of the people I met and I spoke to on that day is the current SUG president of the Federal University of Technology, Owerri. So I gathered them and I was talking to them. And I still keep in touch with them today. In fact, that guy, the current SUG president of FUTU, is one of the ambassadors of the Info Club. The second thing is this: make it a conscious strategy to engage them. Create a platform where they can access you. Talk to them. If you don't talk to them, they still have access to the internet. They see what the likes of Hush Puppy post, and they will think that that is all about life. So if you don't consciously engage them, if you don't create a platform to share your experience with them, to share life with them, they would certainly be misled.
That's interesting. So you mean Timothy, the current SUG president, you know him?
He is the coordinator for Info Club for Ihiala region, Anambra State.
Are you serious?
Yes.
I was with him yesterday in Owerri.
I see.
I was with him yesterday in Owerri.
If you go to our website, the Info Club website,
yes,
you will see him there.
Wonderful, wonderful. And by the grace of God, we are going to Ugwumba Center for Leadership Development in Africa. We are working with them to organize what we call FUTU Enterprise Challenge. You know, a campus edition of the Ugwumba Enterprise Challenge, where we bring young people together who have ideas so that we can train them, and then they pitch their ideas before a panel of judges and win grants. I think that's something we are discussing with him. I know him very well. I was with him just yesterday in Owerri. I just came back from Abuja yesterday. You know, so it's been wonderful. This world is just a small place. It's a small place. I'm happy that one of your club members or coordinators is already talking with us. So the partnership we are talking about has already started.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are still on the show this afternoon, and we are talking with Chief IKENNA NWEKE, the man that has done Nigeria proud around the world. So, let's go just for a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll continue the show. Okay, welcome back. IKENNA NWEKE is our guest on the show this afternoon. And by the way, what is a leadership show about? This leadership show was designed, you know, to be able to change the orientation of Nigerian youth, change their mindset so that they can begin to think Nigeria first, just like IKENNA. We didn't even know IKENNA when we started this, but we're happy that someone out there is doing exactly what we are talking about. We want more Nigerians to begin to think Nigeria first, just like IKENNA NWEKE. And it's a privilege that this afternoon IKENNA is here with us, talking to Nigerians, those in the country and those outside the country. It's a great privilege. IKENNA, we're so happy that you are here. And my boss, Ugwumba, also wanted to join IKENNA on the show this afternoon. I don't know whether he will still make it. He's somewhere in a meeting, but by the grace of God, he wants to join IKENNA because his story is similar to that of IKENNA. IKENNA said that he had to hawk, he had to even do medicine job to be able to take care of himself in school. The same thing was what my boss Ugwumba Uchenwosu did. He had to hawk oranges on the streets of Aba, ice water, not even pure water, ice water, according to the story he shared. He's proud to share the same story, just like IKENNA is proud sharing his story this afternoon. So these are how people, you know, that are successful. That's how they think. They are not. They don't feel shy, you know, sharing their stories, or ashamed, ashamed sharing their stories, because that is what made them who they are today. And if you're ashamed of sharing your story, it means that you are not proud of what God has made you to become. That is the truth of the matter. So let's move to the next segment. IKENNA, you founded the Info Club International in order to raise integrity conscious, honest, and selfless Nigerians. Can you share with us the success stories so far? I'm happy that you introduced this when you mentioned Timothy, the SUG, the Futo SUG president. So can you tell us the success stories of this Info Club International so far?
The formation of the Info Club was a conscious strategy to encourage young Nigerians to emulate me. I think that one of the things lacking in our society is integrity in religion, in politics, in commerce, in civil service, the society at large. And while I'm not writing off the current generation, I mean the present generation, I believe that the task should start by ensuring that the young people, the coming generation, wouldn't make the same mistake, wouldn't take the same lane that the older generation or the present generation is taking or has taken. So I started the Info Club first in Odisha, where I was born, Anambra State, in September of 2020. And we've been able to move around schools, organize events, encouraging young ones to imbibe the ideals of integrity and honesty. And we have been able to establish the Info Club in many schools. So just as you have Science Club, Quiz Club, we also have the Info Club in schools now. So we have school coordinators. So the young people in school, I mean, like the senior students, we refer to them as mentors because they should mentor the younger ones. Then those in junior high school are referred to as mentees. Then every school has an ambassador of info who visits the school once every month to talk to the members of the club in that school, just like the Rotary Club. Now, we have a city coordinator. Every city has a coordinator. We have local government coordinators. We have area coordinators. We have state coordinators. And we have a national coordinator. Now, we have ambassadors. These ambassadors are These ambassadors are people of proven integrity, such as Timothy that you know, and other people you may not know. In them, these young ones see the reality of life, who to look up to. So instead of the likes of Hush Puppy being that huge influence on these people, these young ones look at our ambassadors people in schools doing exploits, people in business doing exploits. Some of our ambassadors are, we have comedians, we have university lecturers, we have a lot of them. And now we have organized a huge seminar in Anambra State. We operate in many states in Nigeria today. Anambra, Enugu, Akwa Ibom, Plateau, Edo, Ebonyi, Benue, Ekiti State, Kaduna State, among other states. And what we are doing is exactly what I've just told you now. Consciously projecting young Nigerians with integrity as role models for these younger ones, diverting attention. Instead of them looking at the light of Hush Puppy, let them look at these ones. For example, let me use the person you know, Timothy. When I met him, he was not an SUG president. He was just in high school. He attended the same secondary school I attended. So I went there to talk to them. So when he heard my story, I gave them my phone number. Timothy was contacting me. We were chatting, and some of his friends too. When he became the SUG president, he wrote to me. He said, "Sir, I have been elected." I said, "Congratulations." And he made one comment. He said, "Thank you for being a huge influence. I'm just following your footsteps." I want other young ones to look at Timothy, especially those in that school where we all attended, that this young man walked through this school and then look at where he is today. And after all, look at who he looked up to. And when they look at both of us, we are not rich, but the society still consider us successful people. Now, we are organizing a nationwide integrity movement. We are going to host our events in about 5,000 secondary schools in Nigeria, across the 30 states. So our ambassadors will be moving to schools. We will make it a 1-month event. So they will be going to all the secondary schools in Nigeria, doing one thing, using my story to teach young ones. We actually make it a book, a short book about my story, where we will hand it over to young ones. Read this book. They will read my life, the story of my life, how my father died when I was 11, the challenges I faced, how I was able to secure scholarship to move abroad, how I had the opportunity to take something that was not mine, how I returned it, and how even the president had to send me a letter of commendation. Let me say this. There is a motion before the Federal House of Representatives in Nigeria for me to be honored. I have been contacted severally by the chairman, House Committee on Foreign Affairs, Honorable Yakub. He called me a week ago and he said, we are compiling the story of your life. We are going to move a motion about, we are already moved a motion and we are working on it. He specifically mentioned that the Speaker of House of Representatives, Honorable Badambilia, is interested in this story. So this is what we want the young ones to know. That you don't need to do bad things to become rich. You don't even need to be rich to become a successful person. We really want to redefine what success is. And we want the young ones to imbibe this. So we want to go to all the secondary schools teaching young people this story. And that is what we are working on now. So Ekiti State, Plateau State, Enugu State, they already come up with their own plans. We are also expecting other states to come up with similar plans. So maybe by May, we'll start the massive campaign. It will last for 1 month and few weeks.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I am happy, how far you have gone with this Info Club International. Let me ask you, why the name Info Club?
Thank you so much. The Info Club means IKENNA NWEKE Foundation Club.
Okay.
So right, some people don't know. So they actually think it has to do with information, which actually it does. It passes the right information. Yeah.
Wonderful. Because I was wondering why info. Okay, wonderful. It takes someone that has the kind of eyes that I have, to see that there must be something to this info club.
Yeah.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Again, that's a wonderful, success story you are sharing about your life and about the foundation. It's so interesting. It's so interesting. Now, before we leave this segment, I want you to tell what's the website again so that I can display it for people to see. What's the website? Can you mention?
www.infoclubng.com.
Okay, infoclubng.com.
Yes.
Okay, .com. Okay.
Yes.
infoclubng.com. Okay, so I'm going to display that before we leave so that people can go there and look at what you're doing. And then, now again, another question is okay, now how do you get the club introduced to states?
Um, when my story went viral, one of the biggest challenges I had was how to make this lifestyle normal in Nigeria. So I started reaching out to my friends I already know. And for example, the national coordinator of the club happens to be a childhood friend whose character I can always attest to. So through him, I was able to reach to other young people. And because I already had a platform where I was mentoring people like Timothy, so it was really easy for me to reach out to young people, to organize this. So some people are introduced to me, and every state coordinator has the responsibility to appoint the local government coordinators. So what I do is I always have meeting with them, all the state coordinators, once every week, where they let me know what they are doing, and I follow them. We have social media platforms. Every info club state, every state where we operate, we have our Facebook page. So you can see Info Club Plateau, Info Club Ekiti on Facebook. We also have a WhatsApp groups for each club, each state, and all the coordinators have a platform, a WhatsApp group where they interact with me almost every day. And once in a week we have a meeting. So we come up with modalities and ideas. For example, we are going to have a program coming up very soon where we ask students in high school to make a video, just 40-minute video, to talk about what integrity is to them and how young Nigerians can be encouraged to take the lane of integrity. And we are going to give prizes, first, second, and third prizes. So this way we can create this consciousness in young people about integrity. So it's going to be a nationwide program. Of course, we don't have money because the Info Club is self-funded, and I'm a student, so we don't have support from anywhere, except the little money that the owner of the money I found donated to the club. So apart from that, it is self-sponsored. So I use my resources to ensure that the Info Club, succeeds in its vision and mission. And I've also reached out to the National Orientation Agency to use their structure. Of course, they've told me they don't have resources, they don't have money, but I can use that structure to reach out to schools. So that's what we are working on now. So the Info Club is a platform I have created using not just my friends, not just people whose character I know, but people who have been introduced to me through these state coordinators. And we are on a mission to rescue the next generation.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we have a message from Anne Ugwumba. She says, you don't have to be rich to be considered successful in the society. You don't also have to be rich to become successful. This is food for thought. I'm happy this is a takeaway for her. Anne Ugwumba, thank you for joining us on the show this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, we are still talking about becoming a role model for the youth. And here we have NWEKE, a Nigerian role model. He is a role model not only for youth, he's a role model for Nigeria, because as we speak, a lot is happening in diaspora because of that act of returning huge sum of money, that he would have brought back home, to build mansion in his father's home. But he said, no, I'm not going to do this. I wasn't brought up this way. I have to go back and return it to the owner. And that has earned him a whole lot of respect and accolades around the world. This is marvelous. IKENNA, there's something you said that I want to bring back, for people that just joined us to hear. IKENNA said, why we have a problem in the society is because, or in that of role models in the society is because people who are successful in the right way, they seem not to be connected, to those that they left behind. There's a problem, there's a kind of disconnection between them and those that are still coming behind. So that is why the young people, the younger generation, they resort to what they see on television, on social media, on Facebook. And that's also why a lot has been said about social media. They said the life on social media is fake life. People, you see them on, they go to hotels, they go to parks and snap, beside the beautiful cars, beside beautiful houses, and they post it on Facebook and say that's their house, and you think it is true. Some people have been deceived that way. Some ladies have also been deceived, and they went home, fighting with their husbands that could not afford such a lifestyle. That's really interesting. So IKENNA has laid the blame on the leadership, the leaders of the country, of the society. You are not doing well because you abandon the younger generation to resort to whatever they can lay their hands upon. That is why they are celebrating Hush Puppy and his agents who are showing off monies that don't belong to them, as if that is the way to go. This is a takeaway for the leaders, young leaders in the different segments of society, whether in government or in the religious at the religious level, wherever you belong. So long as you're a leader, this is a takeaway for you. Go back and see how you can take up these young people and begin to show them the right way of living. Thank you so much, IKENNA, for doing that for us this afternoon. We're still on the show, and I'm happy that Info Club, the website, is there displayed on the screen for you to see, and then for you to also get along with them if you want to be part of them. IKENNA, we launched what we call the Brand Nigerian campaign. In 2019, we launched the Brand Nigerian campaign. Why we did that was because of exactly what you are doing. We wanted to see how we can change these ugly narratives about Nigeria in diaspora, and even within here, there's a big gap between the government and the people. The young people, over 80% of young Nigerians are not proud to be called Nigerians. They are not happy that they are Nigerians. They are not happy that they are Nigerians. They are not happy at all because of the dilapidation in the system and all of that. Then coming to abroad, the foreigners also don't want to hear that you're a Nigerian because of you know, their encounters with some fraudsters, you know, that dupe them of their hard-earned monies and all of that. So we launched the Rebrand Nigeria campaign, you know, to be able to see how we can change, you know, their mindset, the mindsets of the ones here, and then how the foreigners see us as a people. And that's why we spotted you out and declared you one of our role models, you know, for those foreigners to see that this is a Nigerian, but he had to return the money that doesn't belong to him. Are you getting it? There are so many other people that we have also showcased in the past. So now I'm talking about, you have the Info Club that is also doing similar thing that we are doing. So how can we work together?
I think there is an obvious connection between the objective of the Ugwumba Foundation and the Info Club. We want to bring effect change in our society. We want to change the narrative. We also want to, you know, change how we are perceived. One of the things we want to do at the Info Club is to be giving an award to young Nigerians who have done similar things that I've done, and they become our icon. We call them info icons. So we use the story to also challenge other young ones. Let me say this: if we have a society where goodness, where excellence, and where integrity is celebrated, I want to put it to you that we will be able to divert attention from the lives of hush puppy to these people. So the Ugwumba Leadership Foundation, which I have followed, of course, I didn't know much about it until I was inducted into their Rebrand Nigeria campaign. So the way we can work is this: to look at the spectrum of work that the Info Club is doing and the weaknesses, the challenges it has. And I think that is where the Ugwumba Leadership Foundation can come in to assist us. So in terms of probably logistics, or in terms of finances, if so wishes, because as I stated earlier, the Info Club is self-funded. And being a student myself, you know, it's taking a toll on me, but I'm really happy doing it. So if, for example, the program we have, which is going around all the secondary schools in Nigeria, in all the 30 state and FCT, to teach these stories, I think that the Ugwumba Foundation, as a matter of its responsibility that it has taken on itself to become an agent of change in Nigeria, you know, partnering with us would be something that we would appreciate, and that would be what Nigerians would appreciate, because that is what the Ugwumba Leadership Foundation also wants to be doing in Nigeria.
That's fine. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's interesting. You know, I'm happy that there's a collaboration opportunity for Ugwumba Leadership Center and Info Club International. This is something, because for us, we value partnership a lot, because one organization cannot do it all. We believe so much in that. You can't do it all. You know, we believe in leveraging on other people's resources and expertise so that we can reach or make more impacts within the shortest possible time. So that's why I brought that up, and I'm sure that is something that is going to work. Thank you so much, IKENNA. We have gone 1 hour, over 1 hour, but I'm happy that you are still lively and still active, and also eager to talk more. Yeah, I think we can run faster now. So what advice do you have for young people who want to make money by all means? Is there any word for them, young people who want to make money by all means?
Yeah, making money is good, but making it at all costs has consequences. when you are young, there are a lot of things to do. You can, if somebody tells you to wake up at 5 and and go for money, go and work, you can do that. But just as the Holy Book says, for everything in life there is a season. There will be a time when you can no longer be strong to do those things. In the same vein, there's a time, now that you are young, you can do everything to make money. But there will be a time for sober reflection. For me, I have divided this world into two. I mean, our lives in this world into two. The morning phase, the afternoon phase, and the evening phase. And this principle guides me. The morning phase is when you are still young. You can do a lot of things, make mistakes. The afternoon phase is actually where people lose it. That is where people consciously take decisions that will determine how they will live in their evening. There are a lot of young people today who have killed, who have done a lot of terrible things to make money. This is the afternoon phase. The evening phase is when you sit down to reflect on your life. At that stage, you might not have the opportunity to make changes again. You've just done it. That is when you sit down to remember that you killed people to make this money. That on your way to grabbing this wealth you've acquired, you made a lot of people cry. You destroyed lives. And at that point, there is no way you can change anything. Let me put it this way. Records available by the FBI shows that Hush Puppy duped almost 2 million people. The first question is, do you know how many people who couldn't survive after being duped by him? Probably hundreds of thousands. So he killed hundreds of thousands of people. And he became rich. In his evening phase, he would sit down and remember how one of them was crying, asking him to return his money. If he eventually did ritual to be able to have power to do people, he might remember how the girl he killed was crying for mercy, and he would become restless. So there are a lot of people who will not enjoy their evening phase because of what they are doing now or what they will do. So we should create this consciousness that wealth, by all means, is not worth it. There are old people in the evening, they will not still be rich, but they will be enjoying the goodwill of people they encountered, they interacted in life. So we need to teach this. And this is my advice for young people. Be conscious of what you do in the afternoon, because evening will definitely come.
Very good. Evening will certainly come. Now, for the parents who care less about how their children make money, do you have any word for them?
I will tell you this story. When I came to Japan on scholarship, I was just alone. My wife and my kids were in Nigeria, so I had a little money to spare. So one Christmas, I sent my family money, about maybe $300, and my mother was so angry. She said, "You've joined bad people. How can you be sending money? You just went abroad a few months ago." Because I arrived in September, and then in December I sent that money. The truth was that the Japanese government was paying me money for my scholarship. I was collecting stipends. So I decided to send some. My mother's reaction was something of rage. She had to call some family members, and I was questioned, how did you make money? We hear that when people go abroad, they have to hide for some months. They have to wait until they get a job and then start working before. How come you are sending this money? It took the intervention of my younger brother, who was at that time a student at the university, to explain to them, no, he's studying and he's getting money. So I think this analysis, is pictorial. It paints a picture. When your son, who obviously does not have any reasonable, successful, any reasonable means, starts making money, shouldn't that worry you as a mother? I will tell you something. The coordinator for Info Club in Edo State told me something. He said, sir, if you come to Benin City, there are young people as young as 15, 16, whose parents are poor, but they are driving Benz. And I asked him, what about the parents? He said, they are so happy. They even go to church to give testimony that their son has picked. So this is my advice for them now. Your son might have picked, but you really have to sit down and think about the kind of monster you have raised as a child in the society. And one thing about this Frankenstein monster is that it comes back to haunt its maker. There are a lot of we've heard stories of young people using their parents for rituals. I read one story in Warri. A boy had to sleep with his mother in the course of money rituals. My parents are very proud of me. They are not celebrating me because I'm rich. My mom sat down and she was watching the television and she had the president of Nigeria talking about her son in such a beautiful manner. She saw governors. She saw a lot of people around the world talking about her son. She had no access to Facebook, but she had people telling her, we saw your son on television. Even in our WhatsApp group, it was shared. She went to the village this Christmas. She saw posters of me on every quarter, at every quarter of the village. The market square, her son. She saw the traditional ruler of my town celebrate me. She saw my community giving me awards. What could make a parent prouder than all this? There are a lot of things your son, your daughter can achieve other than crying. There are a lot of beautiful things. Your son being an example for young people in the society is worth it. It is more than the wealth you crave for. Let me say this. When the president of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari, described me as the idol Nigerian youth, as the role model that every Nigerian in diaspora and at home should emulate, how do you think my mother felt? My late father, I write a letter to him now. It's my autobiography. It's a form of letter to my father. Explaining to him the things that happened since he died. I'm also telling him that I even got commended by the president. That there is a documentary about my life in Japan here. I will tell him that the Japanese Ministry of Education, in conjunction with a university in Japan, is using my story to encourage young Africans to come to Japan and behave exactly like me. So let parents across Nigeria see this and know that they can be proud of their children without their children making it financially. Thank you.
Thank you. Very interesting. I love that letter you're writing to your dad. I like it. I like it. I wish he's alive to hear all that is happening to you now. It is very, very impressive. We're happy for you, Ikenna. Then we're almost coming to the end of the show, ladies and gentlemen. We're still on the leadership show this afternoon, and our guest is no other than the Nigerian role model, Ikenna NWEKE, and our rebrand Nigerian ambassador living in faraway Japan. This man picked a lot of money that was capable of changing the color of his village, but he decided to return the money to the owner. And that particular incident has changed the way Nigerians are seen in Japan and around the world, so to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, here is Ikenna NWEKE talking with us for the past 1 hour, almost 1 hour 30 minutes. So, Ikenna, before we let you go, I want to know, what is your advice? Or what do you have? Yes, what is your advice for teachers, for religious leaders who have failed in their duties as role models in the society?
Before I respond to that, I want to acknowledge that we are where we are today because of the failure in leadership at every level. So for religious leaders, we need to question how people have made their money. This issue of people coming to church to give thanksgiving, I'll give you a particular example. A young man went to Malaysia, spent 8 months, became so rich, came home, and started building house, filling station, hotels. Then he came to church for Thanksgiving. I wouldn't mention the name of that church. The pastor of the church called him by the side and said, "You are a member of this church. Your parents are members. 8 months ago, you told us you were going to Malaysia to study. How come you made all this money?" And the church flatly rejected that. And the boy left that church, went to another church for Thanksgiving, and his parents became offended. But that is what the church should do. So my point is this: when religious leaders begin to question how people have made their money, especially those who just made it in a very quick space of time without having any form of justification for that, the society will be better. For teachers, they should endeavor to be role models. One of the reasons why I am where I am today is because of the kind of teachers I encountered. The greatest person I respect in life was my teacher. So do not alienate yourself from your students. Don't see your job as something you do to make ends meet. See yourself as somebody who is an agent in the society, who has been placed in a position that can mold those who will become future leaders. And when you fail in that responsibility, there will be a vacuum which will definitely be filled by the criminals. Then on the side of our leaders, the government, the politicians, one of the things I've encountered is young people telling me we move into crime because of lack of jobs and stuff like that. I think we should also, the government should really look into that. While I admit that greed has the greater part when it comes to why youth engage in crime, I also believe that some of them might have gone into that because they find it fancy, and that is the only choice left for them. But for me, that is not a justification. But again, we have to look at that. Finally, those who have been placed in leadership position should be the perfect reflection of what they want the people they lead to become. When a leader engages himself in stealing, uh, other form of criminal activities. No, what do you want the people you lead to do? There is a place in the Holy Bible that says, when the head is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So when the leader becomes a perfect example of what corruption is, what stealing is, what do you want those they lead to do? So I think it is something we need to take a look at the bigger picture. Thank you. There is a place in the Holy Bible that says, when the head is destroyed, what can the righteous do? So when the leader becomes a perfect example of what corruption is, what stealing is, what do you want those they lead to do? So I think it is something we need to take a look at the bigger picture.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's been highly inspiring talking with you, IKENNA, NWEKE, this afternoon.
Thank you so much.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think we have had enough of IKENNA this afternoon. This is 1 hour 30 minutes discussing how to become a role model, or who a role model should be, for young people in our generation. I'm happy that IKENNA has said leaders shouldn't see their jobs, especially teachers and religious leaders, shouldn't see their jobs as a way of making ends meet. They should see those jobs, those opportunities as responsibilities for service. That is how it's going to. I share in the same opinion, because I spoke somewhere last time. I said until teachers begin to go into teaching as for service, not just because it's the only job opportunity left, the system will not change. Until police, Nigerians begin to join police, begin to join military, to serve their fatherland, if they continue to see it as the only jobs remaining, the system will never change. Just like in America, people are proud to join the American police or American army to serve their fatherland. If such doesn't begin to happen in Nigeria, the security system will continue to be in disarray. Likewise, the school system. If the teachers go to teach just because that is the only job remaining, that if they don't go there, they won't have any means of taking care of themselves. The system will not be what we intended to be. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are so happy. IKENNA, it's been wonderful talking with you. It's been really, really, really wonderful. We're happy for the time you have had with us this afternoon, and we're also happy that a lot of people they are happy with what you have shared. They have learned a lot, and there are so many takeaways from this. By the time I do a recap of what we have done, you see that there are so many takeaways that people are going to go home with this afternoon and today, and I'm sure that this will continue to as they replay this conversation, a lot of more conversations a lot of more discussions will continue to go on, and I'm sure you are available to join in those conversations even when we leave the studio this afternoon. I'm so happy. Yes, we're so happy to have you on the show, IKENNA. We are so happy. Unfortunately, my boss could not join us again, because he wanted to really be part of this, to share your experiences that's just so close and similar to what he passed through before he became successful. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we're going to draw the curtain for today. It's been wonderful, wonderful talking to IKENNA NWEKE, the Nigerian role model. The Nigerian role model. It's happy. It's interesting that what you are doing is, rubbing off on Nigerians in diaspora and back here in the country. And today, people can say, if this guy coming into our country, it will be like IKENNA NWEKE, we are okay with him. This is something that is remarkable, and this is something. And maybe many of Nigerians will go and change their names to IKENNA NWEKE so that they can have free access, to Japan and other countries in Europe and Asia, where the impact of what you have done is still resonating. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy this afternoon. IKENNA, it's been wonderful. We've had you for almost for over 1 hour 30 minutes today. It's really amazing. We thank you for the time that you volunteered to be here with us this afternoon. And I'm sure that by the time the conversations continue online, you'll be happy for what you have done. It's not just here. It doesn't stop here. The conversation continues, and a lot of people will want to get involved with the Info Club, and then Ugwumba Center for Leadership Development. We continue the conversation we started last week about working together. So it's a pleasure meeting you, and it's a pleasure for Nigerians in the country and in diaspora for joining us this afternoon. We are so happy for those that joined from UK, those that joined from the US, and those that joined in the country here. We are so happy and we are proud of you. IKENNA, thank you so much, and I'm sure that when we invite you again to talk about this thing, you will oblige us as our role model and as our brand Nigerian ambassador. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Thank you so much.